Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 49 of Walking with Jay. I'm here with my esteemed colleague, Michael. How are you?
I'm great.
Fantastic.
How are you this morning?
I'm doing well. Well, we're out here. We had a bit of a trouble finding the place. No, I'm just kidding. You had a good time finding it. I still couldn't find the other place, so that's what I was lost around there.
I'll have to give you some directions.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so you want to introduce yourself a little bit?
I'm Mikell Finlinson. I met Jeremy probably
moons ago.
6-7 years ago.
Yeah.
When he brought a group of people from his work to my work, and they volunteered, and it was good. And
yeah. Where were you working at the time?
At the time, I was at Dixie State University.
Are you still working there at all?
No. This last year, they decided to have the students work the house. So
okay.
I worked in athletics and house managed a group of volunteers for each athletic event.
Cool.
And then one day I knew I needed a daytime job with benefits when my kids were in school, and so Jeremy was there. We were taking down flags after a football game, and
I remember that.
I started inquiring about where he worked and what he did, and and he said, "Michael, are you asking for you or somebody else?" Like, yeah, me.
So you were, because at the time I sensed that employment, that what you're doing now, you already have those skills maybe of helping people find jobs and stuff. I don't know what I'm talking about.
No, the interesting thing when I applied for this position was they had asked, and I said, yeah, I've actually found a couple people a job just by working in the day program and talking to them and finding out that that's how they want to spend their time. Right.
So we're fast forwarding there.
Yeah.
Back to the story. So we were collecting flags at Dixie State College.
Yep.
And you said, and I said, yeah, okay. And then shortly thereafter, there was an opening, right?
Yeah, you said that Simon had just given his 2-week notice.
Oh, that's right.
But they hadn't posted the position or anything. And so I walked in, Monday morning. So that was Saturday night. Monday morning, I looked up the address and I went in, and one of the people that had volunteered many times was sitting at the bus stop, and he said, "Why are you here?" And I said, "Oh."
Was that a little awkward, or?
No, it wasn't. It actually was really good, because I'm like, I don't know the building, I don't know where I'm going, I didn't even know which individual that would come help, which was the boss. So he said, "Okay," and he goes in, and the boss at the time was Ryan, and he walks me right back to his office, throws open his door, and he said, "Here's Michael, hire her."
That's funny. That's very funny.
And he had just hanging up the phone to advertise for the position.
Oh, wow.
And
serendipity.
I applied and got the job, and here I am, almost 6 years later.
Yeah.
Which I love.
Yeah, that's really cool. And and then at the time you were you were staff of the day treatment program, right?
Yep.
So.
Staff at the day treatment program, and then there was an opening for case manager.
Right.
Well, we wanted to do case management also because we were short-staffed as case management a lot. Right. But it transpired into only being a case manager. Right. And then employment. We got a grant and could help individuals find employment, and so that's what we're doing, and it's great. Well,
let's talk about your new program then. You're the manager of it, or what's it called, supervisor?
Yeah, supervisor of support employment. The state has 2 grants. One, Southwest Center has 2 grants. Right. The state has a pilot program that covers 2 locations. So at Southwest Behavioral Health Center and then Weber Human Services. So we're the pilot program for the state. We got a 5-year grant, and we're using
2 years into it now, or?
Actually, in September it'll be 3 years.
Oh my goodness.
So we help individuals with mental illness or substance use disorder or their family members find and maintain employment.
Oh, I didn't know it had to do with family members too. That's
as long as they have a child in the home under 18 years old and qualify for TANF. Okay. So we have a TANF grant and the mental health grant.
What does TANF stand for?
Temporary Assistance for Needy Families.
Okay, very cool.
That grant DWS decided that we would host that portion in southern Utah.
Right. Cool. Awesome. So you're still enjoying it?
I love it.
What's the biggest challenge you face with that? That's a tough question, huh?
Yeah, it's making sure the team does understand that we're meeting the clients where they are.
Right.
And supporting them with what they need to be successful.
Right.
Because it can be very minimal or it can be very extensive.
Of the intervention or?
No, fortunately, everybody that we get referred are interested in employment. We're not forcing somebody to do something they're not interested in.
That makes the job a lot better.
Yeah. Love it.
Oh, cool.
So just to, some just need help with interview skills, and others need the majority of services, which includes job coaching, which is where we go into the employer and we help them learn their job while they're at work.
Right.
And getting the employers to kind of reduce stigma about what that means.
Right.
And what they'll allow us to do. And
so when you say reduce stigma, for those of my viewers who don't know what stigma is, let's break that down.
It's really judgment against a class of people. So, for instance, assuming that everybody with mental illness is going to go shoot up a school and they have or diagnosed with schizophrenia. So
therefore they're
gonna shoot up a school and scary, and we don't want them in our society.
Right.
That's really the extreme of stigma. It's a judgment about a class of people.
Right.
And so just educating. SAMHSA came out 5 or 6 years ago in their report that said 1 in 4 individuals in Washington County are affected by depression.
Right.
And that's a mental illness.
Right.
And so, and the first day, not the first day, one of the days I went out job coaching or job developing. So go meet with employers, learn about their business, see if any of our individuals might fit there. We had hired, and he only worked for a few weeks, a guy that had historically been a salesman. And I'm like, great, he's not going to be nervous like the rest of us to meet employers.
Right.
So I'm like, hey, he gave us notice at work. I'm like, hey, I'm spending a day with you and meeting employers. And we met 10, and 2 of those, I'm like, they, by my interaction with them, and clearly my opinion and judgment, easily could have been one of our clients. And so for me, it leveled the playing field a lot more. And I realized, they're just humans on this planet. I can talk to anybody.
Right.
They can like me or not like me. Sometimes that has to do with me. Sometimes that has nothing to do with me. It's okay. And it made it a lot easier to do my job.
Awesome.
And not be nervous to meet employers and go into businesses. And
yeah, to me that would be very nerve-wracking. My interview, going in to be interviewed and stuff like that, I'd much rather be asking the questions than to be in an interview. Anyway, so very cool. Well, let's talk about some of your strengths, Mikell. What strengths do you bring to the table in order for you to be successful at the job that you're in?
I think that I love people. I realize I just love people. I think people are always doing the best they can. My bias is people are always doing the best they can with what they're dealing with at the moment.
Right.
And so,
not a bad bias to have.
I know. Right. It has got me in trouble a time or two, but for the most part, it's great.
Right.
And I'm not so nervous anymore to meet employers and to go into their
So you're getting more confidence just through the experience of doing it, or?
Yeah, I realize that I am truly benefiting an employer by walking through their doors, because I make the hiring process so much
easier.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And there are certain, so how does it make it easier, I guess is what I'm asking.
Well, we meet with the clients, we learn who they are, what skills and strengths they have, where they want to work. And research shows that if you're doing something you enjoy, you're always going to be more productive.
Absolutely.
And so instead of them just putting out an ad and getting all these applications or resumes and trying to determine if this person's going to be a good fit, we actually get to know them and say, yeah, let me tell you their strengths. And this one thing might be a challenge. And if you can work with us on it,
we'll work with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And so it makes it easy. We've had so many employers have such good success that they said, I'm only going to hire people that you send. Or actually, we have one employer that said, I will always hire whoever you send me because I know you'll send me a qualified candidate.
That's really cool. So you're like, you pre-qualify people basically.
Not really. We just get to know them. So we can advocate for them.
Right.
No matter which.
So would you say advocating is one of your strengths?
Yeah, I guess it is. It's what I do naturally, so I take it for granted.
Right. Yeah, I think that's kind of a hard question to ask sometimes I mean, like for me, I don't like to go into interviews and talk about my strengths and stuff like that. So I'm lucky Southwest Center just keeps hiring me back whenever I quit.
That's because you're great.
Yeah.
And sometimes people advocate for you too.
A lot. I know you advocated for me this last time, so I appreciate that.
Yeah, I do.
Let's talk about holistic wellness. When you hear the word holistic or the phrase holistic wellness, what do you think of?
I think of a whole, every component, every part. One of the first thoughts that come to my mind is right now we're playing a wellness bingo game at work.
Right.
And this morning, one of the thoughts I had was...
Should we turn around?
Sure.
We're halfway there on the timeline.
Okay.
Ding, ding, ding.
Was
wellness bingo.
2 random acts of kindness within the next 30 days. And how wellness can be everything. You know, we think eating right, sleeping, exercising, which probably should be part of our everyday life.
Right.
Without, I don't know, historically, people had to do that, right? You had to hunt down your animals and
to eat.
You ate and slept. But it's about the mind, body, spirit.
Right, the whole puzzle.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, what are some of your tools well, first of all, let me ask you, what are you like when you're well?
What do I like? Life is just great.
What do you like when you're well?
What am I like?
Yeah.
Okay. I am doing those things. Eating, sleeping, exercising.
Right.
But I've also found, for me, prayer is a huge component. I really like meditation and yoga. I naturally have a lot of energy, so those things calm me down and get me centered and remind me what's important in life.
Right. When you're talking about centered, tell us a little more about what that means.
So centered to me is really just living in the moment, having peace, enjoying the journey, looking at things in a positive light, realizing that everything that happens is for us, it's not to us. So
that's an interesting distinction, isn't it?
Yeah, it's huge. So what I mean by that is, I don't know.
Yes, you do. Deep down inside you. Be in the moment.
I'm trying to think of how to explain it.
Yeah.
So, for instance, this morning when we communicated about what the location was, and we both understood a different spot.
Right.
When I'm not centered, it'd be like, oh, why'd I do that? That was frustrating.
Right.
Now, you know, what if we're late for work? And do we have enough time to get everything done this morning?
Hopefully, huh?
Versus when I realize it's, so that's it happened to me, but it happened for me. It gave me a few extra moments to rest, to enjoy nature, to hear the sounds of the birds, recognizing that everything that happens is for us. It's a gift.
Right.
And whatever we learn is critical information for something in our future. It's an opportunity to learn and grow and be our best self.
So maybe an opportunity for me, I learned just to learn patience and forgiveness of, it's these little things that can be irritations or whatever, and you just got to let them go.
Yeah.
So cool. Awesome. So things happen for you, not to you.
Right.
And that mindset has made a lot of difference for you.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, the sun's right behind us, so this is kind of an interesting shot. All right.
Perfect
Well, okay.
backdrop.
So when you're well, you're able to stay in the moment.
Yeah.
And you're able to see things as happening for you rather than to you.
Yeah.
What's your attitude like when you're feeling well?
It's just positive. I have hope in everything. It's kind, gentle, loving, accepting.
Right.
Just really that good place. Like looking at things more as a journey and an opportunity to learn and grow, and instead of life's hard and it sucks.
Because it is hard, right? I mean,
it is hard, and we all have challenges and we all have things we face.
right.
But when I'm centered, it's not as hard.
Right.
Because you can see it as, oh, this is a gift, and this is for me to learn and grow and to be happy, and I'm learning valuable lessons.
Right.
An interesting thing that before I started working at Southwest Center, that summer twice I woke up in the middle of the night, 3 o'clock in the morning, with a panic attack.
Okay.
And I had never
They're
had
horrible.
one. Yeah, they are. And at the time I thought it was just horrible and awful and I didn't
Right.
like it, and then it scares you even more that you're going to do it again.
Right,
Like,
right.
a lot of the things you learn at school is, oh, it's your thoughts and they spiral and no, I was asleep. Life was great.
How are you having a panic attack when you're sleeping? Right?
Exactly. And then I had no idea the time that I was even going to look for other work. But I did, and I got this job, and we have many
Morning.
individuals that struggle with, that deal with anxiety every day, or
Anxiety,
panic attacks or anxiety attacks. And I thoroughly understood it.
Right.
From my experience.
Right.
It's not going to be the same as everybody else's, but I could tell them what worked for me, and I could have complete compassion and empathy and understanding
sure.
because I had been there.
That's awesome.
And
Michael.
so
That
ultimately
really is.
it's been this great gift, a great opportunity. It happened for me, for my learning, for my understanding, for my
Right.
compassion to grow, that I wouldn't have known or experienced any other way. Like reading
Yeah.
a book did not help me understand.
No, you have to go through it. You have to go through it. And I mean, that's my story too. You know, I've had panic attacks. I never had them. I've been hospitalized twice before this last episode, and this was the first time that I started having panic attacks. And I thought I was going to die. I really did. They're just horrible, and so I can't even imagine having them chronically.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Because there's
yeah.
nothing I did to get rid of my panic attacks, really, that I can look back on. You know, I didn't really change my thinking or anything like that. They were just a phenomenon that happened, you know.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. The one thing that helped mine not get worse
mhm.
and may have helped it get a little better was I had called somebody who had experience, at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
A good friend. And the individual talked me through, and I realized if at that moment you come in as a reporter,
Uh-huh.
so you only report the facts
Okay.
instead of
Okay.
emotions. So you
Right,
can say,
right.
my heart's racing, my palms are sweaty,
Right.
and which is what I think we normally do because it's scary.
Right.
But instead, if at that moment we can report, like, oh,
I
I
like
noticed
that.
my heart is beating a little faster than normal, and my palms are sweaty. But guess what? That happens every time I exercise too.
There you go.
And so it makes it more like, oh.
More normalizes
I deal with
it, I
that.
guess.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And I think it gives us the belief that I can handle this.
Nice.
I do know to some degree what's happening. I've handled having a racing heartbeat and sweaty palms and whatever in the past every time I've exercised.
Right.
So
That's cool.
it makes it like I can handle this.
Wow, I like that. Next time I have a panic attack, I'm going to try that strategy.
Yeah.
I
And maybe
love
now
that.
that you have a solution, you'll never have one.
Now that you know the answer, the test will never come, right?
Yeah.
Hopefully, who knows? Sometimes it's a crapshoot in life. You don't know what you're going to get.
Exactly.
Well, Michael, okay, so let's talk about, when you are well, you're doing all those things we talked about. You're centered. You talked about prayer a little. I think we got a couple of minutes here to talk about prayer. Well, how does that factor into your life?
In every aspect. One, recognizing in my experience that there's a God that loves me,
Yeah.
that I'm here to learn, that I'm never alone.
Yeah.
At 3 o'clock in the morning or any other time, I'm never alone.
Right.
And it's that pure unconditional love. I can't do something to make him cry or make him sad or make him angry at me because he's perfect.
Right, right.
And he loves me perfectly. And
Right.
he understands completely what I'm going through, what I'm thinking, what I'm feeling. And that
Now,
I can say anything.
okay, that's what I was going to ask you. Do you feel like you have to front it all?
No, absolutely not. Like I can pray as I'm driving down the road and hit the steering wheel and swear.
Right, right.
Because that is, to me, it's a pure, genuine relationship. I can say anything. I can be real and raw. I believe that he knows every thought in my head anyway, so why not express it?
Exactly. And there's nowhere to hide. Very cool. Awesome. So do you have any other tools in your utility belt for wellness? Any secrets that someone might latch onto? We've talked about exercise, eating right, prayer, meditation. What do you do when you do feel discouraged?
It depends on the moment.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's crying or yelling into a pillow, or a lot of times it's taking a deep breath. This is one of my favorites. If it's just a day like, you're running late to work, I realize,
like we're going to be here.
perhaps, that every time I come to a stop sign or a red light, I look at it as an opportunity to take 3 deep breaths.
Awesome.
And so deep breathing is super beneficial.
Oh yeah, I love deep breathing.
And so that really makes, I never have road rage that way.
Very cool. Well, thank you so much for joining me on episode 49 here, Walking with Jay. Been fun. Went by quick, 20 minutes.
Super fast.
How when you work out, how long do you usually work out?
I don't
depends.
have any usual. Yeah, it's whatever my time and life allows.
Right. All right. Well, good deal. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We love you, and cheers. And say goodbye to the.
Bye. Have a great day.